Hi everyone, this is the debrief for the awareness activity that I posted for last week on March 16th. And the cards were intuition, humility, and quiet. So the intuition card was basically saying that intuition is the means through which the universe dialogues with you. And through which you can connect with your higher conscious mind, and that it keeps you linked to your purpose in the flow of life, and it guides you towards your place of purpose, love, and fulfillment. Okay, so that was the idea you were being asked to kind of have as a background theme for the week. The energy you were being asked to embrace was humility. And what I like about this card is it's basically saying, just remember there's more than just you. In this case, we will say just your personality. And that as you go through your day, remember that there are other influences which may know better. No matter what you think you know, or what you're planning to do, remain open to the idea that there is a wisdom beyond yours, and stay open to the input, which goes along very beautifully with staying in touch with the dialogue that happens with the universe around you. And then, of course, the activity card was specifically be quiet. Shh. So today, listen to no music or radio broadcasts or podcasts. Watch no TV or watch no TV or videos. Stay away from public media of all kinds. If possible, unplug from your phone, internet, all social media. If not possible, reduce it to the bare minimum. Choose silence whenever possible. So I thought this was, when I set the exercise for last week, I thought it was a really, really powerful card, because sometimes it is really only in thinking of a reality beyond ours that might be wise that we can deal with the stress of things that are going on around us in our private life, in the public world around us. And that certainly in terms of trying to stay centered and being focused on evolving our consciousness and really working with our energy and keeping it in a certain frequency, it's been a very good time for us to really reduce input from external sources, news, etc. Now, but I want to also present this to you in terms of the debrief. Of course, we can look back at this and we can say, did I do the exercises? Was it, how rigid was it? No, I don't even want to say rigid. How disciplined was I in doing these exercises? Was it easy? Blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff. All of the questions we've asked all along. But what I want to present to you is how it worked for me this week, because it's sometimes in a way you don't realize it's happening until you stand back and you look at what the cards were and you say, how did any of this show up in my life? Consciously or unconsciously? Well, the way it worked for me this week was that I suddenly had a sore throat and a painful ear, but it was only half. And I was not feeling great. And I decided I was going to take a day or two off. And then the third day came. And the pain was gone. The discomfort was gone. But I didn't feel energetic. And I thought to myself, I probably could get up and get to work and do the readings I'd planned and see the clients I'd planned on. But there was something that when I really listened deeply, it was so right for me to just stay in bed. And when I say stay in bed, I don't mean sleeping. I mean just being stationary and still in bed, not dealing with the computer, not dealing with clients, not dealing with anything from the external world. And when I got out of my own, yes, but you could do the laundry, you could do this, you could do that. It's nothing that's going to take so much energy or you don't have to be in a particular high frequency to do that work. You could do those things. But when I got beyond the judgment of I should be doing something, or at least, I could be productive today, what I got was this real honest sense of it's just okay to be still. And you don't have to be sick to be still to justify taking care of yourself. And I gotta say, it shifted something hugely for me in a few ways. One was I didn't realize how affected I was being by the news. And that even though I was not actively angry or upset while I was listening to it, it's heavy frequency. And what that allowed me to do was reset. It completely reset my system. And I realized then as I came out of it, it was like doing a fast, where if you've ever done a food fast, you know that when you start eating food again, you notice immediately what your body is reacting negatively to and what it's not. And what I got to see was exactly that. I got to go, oh, yeah, no, you know what? Yes, of course, you need to be aware of what's going on around you. And there's a way that you can be aware without being constantly influenced by this and pulled into it. Because even though I was not thinking about it all the time, I was being pulled into, oh, this bombshell drops, oh, this prime minister, or that. Like, it was just like all of this stuff coming at me, that I realized was engaging my energy, my mental energy in that issue of conflict and lack of resolution. And that was draining my energy field, or that was lowering my frequency, I think I would say. So I really got to see that when I started looking online again and catching up on stuff, it was like, oh no, that's making me feel bad. So that's the way I experienced that. And what I really got to see was that by allowing myself to listen to my higher conscious mind and to trust that the universe maybe had a bigger reason for me staying still, because I wouldn't have if I hadn't gotten that sore throat in the first place, that it was exactly what I needed for my own well-being, but also for the well-being of my clients. So that's a long-winded explanation, but I think this is a really valuable way. When you step back and you do the debrief for the week, you look back over it, notice how it's shown up in your life in ways that maybe you hadn't imagined that it would or expected that it would. And it's also a good thing to remember that when you read the cards and when you set the intention to work with it as a self-awareness tool, even if you're not consciously working it as consistently as you think you could, that there's still a part of you that is engaged in it. And there's still a part of you that's listening to it and maybe responding to it without you realizing you are. So that's why it's always good to do a debrief at the end of the week and stand back and go back over the cards. That's why I hold them up for you. Go back over the cards and say, how did this show up for me? It may show up in ways really surprisingly for you that we're not conscious at all. And that's it for now. Now I'm going to do the one for next week. Okay, take care.